There's lesson 120, number 4. It said there was Herb and Albert, so I used little subscripts. Oh, great, I can't write. I used little subscripts H and A for Herb and Albert. And then it said Herb could do one ditch in H1 hours, and Albert could do one ditch in H2 hours. I know distance equals rate times time. I know rate times time equals jobs. But it said one guy started digging before the other guy. So if Herb started digging an hour before Albert showed up, then he's already dug 1 over H1 worth of a ditch. Like, we don't know what H1 is. Maybe it was like, maybe his rate's a third. We don't know what it is. We just know it's H1, okay? So, so that's why, like, by the time Albert shows up, there's not a whole ditch to get dug because this guy already dug part of it, and the part that he dug is 1 over H1. Okay, so that's why I did that. And the other reason I did that is so now the times can be the same. Instead of, I mean, if you don't understand doing it this way, you could just go, you could put the rate of Albert would be the rate of Herb minus 1, I think. And that would have worked. But I like to do it this way. Okay, so now the times, I don't have to have subscripts on the times, so I put the rates in as 1 over H1 and 1 over H2. The times are the same now because they're going to be working on the rest of the, digging the rest of the ditch. Why did I do this? I just wanted to get them all together on one fraction. So I found the common denominator. I wrote this as H1 over H1, and then I added them up, this term and this term up, because I wanted them on the same fraction, because I plan on multiplying by a reciprocal pretty soon here. So here, again, I wanted a common denominator so that I could add these two fractions. So I had to multiply the first fraction by H2 over H2 and the second fraction by H1 over H1. And then I went ahead and made the common denominator right here too. I actually feel like I didn't really have to do that, but I did. I just multiplied the top and bottom by H2 over H2. And then what did I do? I add these up. So this will end up being H1 or H2 plus H1, or I just write it H1 plus H2 over that common denominator times T. But then I want to multiply by the reciprocal. So there's the reciprocal of the coefficient of T. So when I multiply by that, everything cancels out, right? But if I multiply the left-hand side by something, I have to also multiply the right-hand side by that same number. Okay, and then you'll see that these canceled out all super nicely, and I end up with this as my answer.